everybody, my name is Hannah Steeman and I am doing a project over cross-contamination and celiac disease. So we're going to start with celiac disease. Celiac is an autoimmune disorder where your body is actually attacking your small intestines, specifically the villi. The reason that your body is attacking your small intestines is because you have ingested gluten. In easier terms to explain, gluten is anything that has wheat, rye, or barley in it. And your body sees those as foreign invaders, so your immune system makes antibodies to go attack them. And not only does it attack the gluten, it attacks the small intestines, the villi in your small intestines. So villi are very, very important in the absorption of nutrients. So if you can't absorb the nutrients, you're essentially starving yourself. So it's a very, very big deal in the world of nutrition. And there are about 1 in 100 people worldwide who have celiac, and about 2.5 million people in America alone that are undiagnosed and that are at risk for long-term complications. So one cannot simply catch celiac disease. It is all hereditary, and if your parents have it, then you are very likely to get it. If you do not have it, but your parents do, then you are a carrier. So your children or your children's children, just keep going down the line, somebody in your family will have celiac disease. There's a long list of symptoms that are very numerous and unspecific for undiagnosed celiac, and they include bloating, pain, gas, diarrhea, constipation, pale stool, weight loss from the lack of nutrient absorption, skin rashes, iron deficiency, anemia, musculoskeletal problems like muscle cramps and bone and joint pain, growth issues especially in children, seizures, tingling sensation from the nerve damage, and ulcers, and also missed periods. So nothing that is specific to just celiac, but some serious complications. There are both short-term and long-term complications for someone who has celiac and someone who does ingest gluten. Short term, they usually will experience headaches or migraines and stomach problems that will last a day or two at most. They don't usually last too long, but the long-term complications are much more serious. They include osteoporosis, infertility, birth defects in children. It can also include seizures and growth issues in small children, and also all different kinds of cancers, especially cancers of the stomach. So to get tested and get diagnosed with celiac, you have to go to your doctor, and they will first start out with a bunch of questions asking you about what happens when you eat wheat and gluten, and family history things, if anyone in your family has had it. They will also take blood samples to test for the antibodies produced when gluten is ingested. And they can also take stool samples to see if there are a lot of nutrients that have just been passed through, that have not been absorbed. And in some cases, they do a biopsy of the small intestines. So cross-contamination is the passing of microorganisms, bacteria, or any other kind of substance from one patient or thing to another by use of improper or unsterile utensils, procedures, or products. When most people think of cross-contamination, they think of the kitchen setting. They think of mixing raw meats with vegetables, using the same cutting boards, same knives, and that is very, very similar to the spreading of wheat and gluten in the kitchen. So I'm going to do a little demonstration for you guys. So it is breakfast time in this household, and I want toast, because toast is something that you eat for breakfast. So I've got my gluten-free bread, and my friend wants toast too, but doesn't like gluten-free bread because she thinks it's nasty. And in many cases it is, but that's besides the point. So we've got her regular bread, and can you even see this with the light? So if we both want to have toast, we are not able to use the same toasters. I have my toaster, my little personal one, and then we have the family toaster that is much bigger. And the reason why we have to have separate toasters is because whenever you put the bread or whatever you're putting into the toaster in, it loses, the crumbs will fall off, they will get all over the top, over the inside, all over the bottom. So there are so many places for the cross-contamination to happen inside just the toaster. Easiest way to prevent this so you're not constantly cleaning your toaster every single time you use it is just get complete separate ones. They're not that expensive. It's actually really, mine was like $5 for $6 at Walmart. It's a pretty easy thing to deal with. So using completely separate utensils, separate stirring spoons, whatever, if you're making both gluten-free pasta and regular pasta, any kind of oil that you use, you have to do your gluten-free thing first and then your wheat thing so that nothing gets cross-contaminated. It's a big process, but it's very, very manageable. So for the sake of time, I have made my toast, and of course you have to butter your toast. So I'm going to start with my friend's piece of toast and butter hers. Get some more on there. Now what have I done just there? Did you guys catch it? I double dipped into my little jar of butter. If I were to use the same jar of butter for my bread, I would get sick. Because since I double dipped, I have taken particles of the bread, of the flour, of the wheat, and I have put it into the butter. I have contaminated it. This is no longer usable for me and for anybody else who has celiac. And it's a very, very simple thing that you don't really think about, but it is very, very, very important. Easiest thing to do is use completely separate tubs of butter, of mayonnaise, whatever you use for your spread. The best invention, it's not really that much of an invention, is the squeezy tubes of like jelly and mayonnaise and other things that come in squeezy tubes, because you're not like dipping into the jar. You are just squeezing out, nothing goes into the jar, nothing goes into the container, so nothing can be contaminated that way. As long as you use different knives or you wash them often between uses, then you'll be all good. So this has been my little demonstration of cross-contamination and celiac disease. I hope you guys have learned something and that you can use this in your future. If you ever have to cook for anybody who has a food allergy, all you have to do is just talk to them. They will walk you through the steps. They will tell you exactly what you need to know so that they do not get sick. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!